Just got off the phone with my mom a few minutes ago, and she's on her way down for a visit. I know she's excited. This Parmesan vegetable tart is something incredible. The Parmesan is actually in the crust. 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And I add 1/2 cup of cold unsalted butter. And I don't add salt to the recipe because the Parmesan cheese itself will add the essential salt. Wow, that takes no time. So now the butter's in nice fine little pieces. I'll add 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese. I can tell it's almost ready because the dough is just starting to climb up the sides of the food processor. And 1/4 cup of cold water. There we go, done. It's very soft and pliable right after you mix it, which means it's pretty much impossible to roll right now. It would just be a sticky mess. But about 30 minutes in the fridge and it'll be set enough to roll. The dough has had enough time to rest and firm up, but it's still quite pliable, so it'll be easy to roll. Make it easier to lift and put in the shell. I actually press the dough in and down a little bit. That way it'll be less inclined to shrink as it bakes. So I want to give this a little chance to chill. Another 1/2 hour. That'll ensure it doesn't shrink as it bakes in the oven. Alright, tart shell's nicely set. Using a tray makes the tart easier to lift in and out of the oven. I just used a fork to poke holes in the bottom of the crust. This allows any steam or air to escape so you don't get air pockets in the bottom of your crust. I've preheated my oven to 375. I can't just put this tart in the oven right now because it would actually sort of bubble up, so I have to blind bake it. And that means by weighting it down, I like to use dried beans. And you can reuse the beans. Once you've baked them once, you can bake with them 6-8 times. Because of the weight of the beans, it'll brown on the outside first before the bottom's cooked, so I have to check about halfway through cooking, and then it'll be time to pull off the foil. I'll pop this in the oven for about 15 minutes. Let's take a peek at the crust. Okay, I can see the crust is browning on the outside nicely, but that's why I'm taking out the beans now and let the tart shell bake for another 15 minutes. And I'll let it cool completely before I fill it. The tart shell is baked and cooled and ready to fill. I've got some blanched green beans, capers, some fresh basil, Peameal bacon. I am using eggs, 2 whole eggs, and 1 yolk to add a little richness. And instead of using milk or cream as you would a quiche, I'm using sour cream, 3/4 cup. 1/4 teaspoon of salt and of pepper. So I'll julienne the peameal. It's fully cooked. And then I'll just loosely arrange the green beans. And then fresh basil leaves, whole leaves, I'll just tear them. Some capers. I'll put the egg mixture on. Give the tart a little shimmy. And that way the egg mixture kind of settles in between all the vegetables and the bacon. A little crumbling of goat cheese on top. There we go. Now I've turned down the oven to 350 and this will take 30 minutes. I'll keep an eye on it and I'll give the pan a little shake. When I see that the center of the tart stops moving when I shake the pan, then I know it's done. Alright, I think that's a tart that'll make Mom proud.